Hello friends, let us discuss today about meiosis. Meiosis is one of the most important cell division. It is also one of the most important aspect in the cell life. It is important because all the living organisms maintain their chromosome number constant with the help of meiosis. Meiosis is important because it is the only method by which the organisms can go for sexual reproduction. Meiosis is the only process which brings variation in the genes, genotype, and due to this variation, evolution is possible. Always variation leads to evolution, and this variation is the result of meiosis. Due to all these things, meiosis is the most important thing in the cell, happening in the cell cycle, happening in the life of the organisms. We have some beautiful slides with the help of which we would discuss about the cell division, meiosis. Now this meiosis was the term was first given by Farmer and Murray in 1905. It occurs only at the time of gamete formation. When there is sexual reproduction, gametes are formed, and at the time of gamete formation, this meiosis is done. The cell undergoes meiosis at the time of gamete formation. It is a double division in which a diploid cell divides twice, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. Twice, it divides for twice, and one cell gives rise to 4 cells. Now the 4 cells which are daughter cells, they are haploid. They have the chromosome number exactly half the parent cell. So it is also called as a reduction division. It generally takes place in the reproductive organs of the organism, as it is related with the sexual reproduction or the gamete formation. Naturally, the cells which are present in the reproductive organs, they generally show meiosis. Meiosis comprises 2 divisions, as I told just now, the meiosis 1 and meiosis 2, but remember, there is no interphase in between these 2 divisions. They are consecutive. When a cell enters into meiotic division from interphase, then the meiosis 1 and meiosis 2, they occur continuously, and then the cell again enters into interphase. So there is no interphase in between these 2, meiosis 1 and meiosis 2. Now let us discuss the meiosis 1. It is also called as a reduction division because when one diploid cell undergoes meiotic division, it forms 4 haploid cells. Now the reduction in the number of chromosomes is done in the meiosis 1. So at the beginning of meiosis 1, the cell have diploid set of chromosomes, 2 sets of chromosomes, and at the end of meiosis 1, the cells, 2 cells which are formed at the end of meiosis 1, they do have only single set of chromosome. So a diploid cell divides into 2 haploid cells in the meiosis 1 specially. It occurs in 4 steps: prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1 and telophase. It is regular. The steps in the meiosis 1 and again in later on we will discuss in meiosis 2, they are same: prophase 1, metaphase, anaphase and telophase. In meiosis 1 they are referred as prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1 and telophase 1. The prophase 1 is the big difference between the meiosis 1 and meiosis 2, because in meiosis 1 the prophase 1 is the longest phase. It is the longest in all meiosis, and it is subdivided into 5 stages. It is a large step and it is subdivided into leptotene, zygotene, pachytene, diplotin and dikinesis. Again 5 stages. In some books you would again go for one more step, and that is proleptotin, but that is okay. Oh, so let's see the prophase 1 now, with its details. Now the prophase 1, the cell enters into prophase 1 from interphase. So meiosis is the cell division, and in the meiosis the cell enters into the prophase 1. Before that the cell is naturally in the interphase, synthetic phase. So when it enters into meiosis 1, it enters into the first prophase 1 of meiosis, and there the first stage is the leptotin. What happens in leptotin? In leptotin, the chromatin material which was present in the interphase, chromatin material. Now remember, chromatin is a stage in which when we apply a stain to the chromosome, the whole nucleus is stained because chromatin is uniformly distributed throughout the nucleus. We can't see the fiber-like structure of DNA of chromosome in the interphase. But now in leptotin, the chromosomes appear to be thread-like structures. So the condensation of the chromosome have begun, and the chromosomes are now appearing. They are apparent. The chromatin fibers start condensation and they appear in the form of chromosome fibers. That is the main difference in leptotin. So now the second stage in the prophase 1 is zygote. What happens in zygote? One of the most important thing happens here. The homologous chromosomes pairing of the homologous chromosomes. Now remember that when meiosis always takes place in diploid cells. So when a cell is diploid, in its nucleus it has pairs of homologous chromosomes. Each chromosome have one exactly identical partner. The two chromosomes which are exactly identical, they are called as homologous chromosomes. Now here you can see, here this is zygote. So this is one chromosome, this is another chromosome, two chromosomes, this is one chromosome, this is another chromosome. Each chromosome has its partner. Now these partners come together at the zygote stage and they pair. This pairing is called as synaptonymal complex. They are forming synapses. Synapses formation means the lengthwise pairing of the chromosomes, homologous chromosomes. They do not pair with anyone. Each chromosome pairs with its homologous chromosome only, and this lengthwise pairing is known as synaptonymal complex formation or synapsis formation. So synapsis formation takes place in zygote. The chromosomes which are paired here like this, they are called as bivalents. The chromosomes are 2 in number and therefore they are called as bivalents. Now come to the pachytene. In the pachytene, the exchange of segments between the non-sister chromatids of the tetrads take place. Now each chromosome, again condensation is a continuous process. Condensation of the chromatin starts in leptotin and it ends at the meiosis 1, metaphase 1, sorry, metaphase 1. So up to metaphase the condensation is a continuous process. The chromosomes go on condensing and condensing and they become thicker and thicker, shorter and shorter in each of the stage. So the chromosomes which appears bivalents in the zygote, now they are tetrads. Each chromosome has 2 chromatids and the chromosomes are paired. So in one pair 4 chromatids are present. They are called as tetrads. Now in these tetrads, the non-sister chromatids of one chromosome and chromatid of another chromosome, they exchange over one another, they cross over, they form the crossing over, and the crossing over is the character of this pachytene. In pachytene, here you can see, here you can see, here you can see the non-sister chromatids show crossing over, pachytene. Now coming to the diplotin. Diplotin is a stage in which the synaptominal complex is dissolved. So lengthwise pairing which was appeared in zygote, it is now disappearing, lengthwise pairing. Now this disappearing of the synaptonymal complex or synapses starts at the centromere. The chromosome starts going away from one another at the centromere first in this way, and then the synapses terminalization takes place. Terminalization, it goes towards the terminal position. So the homologous chromosomes remain attached to one another towards the terminal position only due to the crossing overs. So at crossing overs only they are held together now. And then in dikinesis the chiasmata is shifting towards the ends. Other parts of the chromosome which started in the center at the centromere has now separated. The synapses has been dissolved, and only at the tips, at the telomeres, the crossing over can be seen. The chiasmata can be seen only at the tips now. So this is dikinesis. So all these are the stages in the prophase 1. Prophase 1 starts with interphase. Interphasic chromosome enters into the prophase 1. The first is leptotin, where thread-like chromosomes appear. Now the next one is zygotin, where the synapses formation takes place, lengthwise pairing of the chromosomes takes place. Then pachytin, where crossing over takes place. Then diplotin, where the synapses starts dissolving, and dikinesis, where terminalization takes place. Now after dikinesis the cell enters into metaphase 1. So as usual, metaphase is a stage in which all the chromosomes are arranged at the center, exactly at the center. There is spindle formation, the asters are formed and the two spindles are formed, clear cut spindles appear, they extend towards the center, they get attached to the centromeres of the chromosomes, spindle fibers, and here the chromosomes, all the chromosomes are arranged at the center. Now they are forming a double metaphasic plate because each chromosome is paired, so two pairs, and therefore in this way two metaphasic or double metaphasic plate is formed here in the metaphase 1. In anaphase 1 the chromosomes move towards their respective poles. Now remember, here this is a chromosome with centromere and these are the two chromatids. Each chromosome with two chromatids means a double chromosome or a chromosome with two chromatids and four arms is pulled to the respective poles. Now out of these pair, this is a homologous chromosome to this one, this is being pulled to this pole and this is being pulled to this pole. They are pulled to their respective pole. What is pulled here? Not sister chromatids, not sister chromosomes. Here the whole chromosome is pulled. A chromosome with two chromatids is pulled to their respective pole from the bivalence, from the homologous pairs. Each pair is now broken and one of the chromosome goes to their respective pole, and then telophase appears. In the telophase you can see the two nuclei are being formed here, two cells are being formed here. The telophase shows the formation of the nuclear envelope and the nucleolus appears, and the telophase is followed by the karyokinesis where the chromosome cytoplasm is divided, and in this way the meiosis 1 is completed. It results in the two cells. Now two cells which are formed in the meiosis 1, they are haploid cells. Initially at the beginning of the meiosis the cell was diploid, at the end of the meiosis 1 the cell is, two cells are formed and they are haploid. Here you can see these are the two cells which are formed at the end of telophase and when cytokinesis takes place. So this nuclear envelope appears here now. So there is no interphase, but telophase 1 ends with the cytokinesis resulting in the two cells. Now these are the two cells formed separately. Then the meiosis 2 begins. Now this meiosis 2 is just like mitosis, where the chromosomes are divided at the centromere and chromatids are separated. Now it is just like mitosis, meiosis too. Here the chromosome number would be constant, it would not be reduced further. Already the chromosome number has been reduced. The diploid cell, one diploid cell has given to these two haploid cells. Already the cells are haploid, so further reduction is not done in meiosis 2, and therefore meiosis 2 is called as equational division. Chromosome number is equated, it remains equal to the parent cells. The chromosome number is not reduced further. So it is just like mitosis, and it is again divided into prophase, metaphase, anaphase and telophase, and we call them as prophase 1, metaphase 1, anaphase 1 and telophase 1. Now coming to the prophase, I have said 1, there are prophase 2, metaphase 2, anaphase 2 and telophase 2. So prophase 2, again this is the prophase 2 after completion of meiosis 1. Here meiosis 1 is completed after cytokinesis, two cells enter into the prophase 2. There is no interchange, there is no interphase. Directly prophase 1, meiosis 1 ends into meiosis 2. It begins into meiosis 2. So prophase 1, here you can see the nuclear envelope is degenerating now, the spindle formation is beginning now, and prophase 2 shows the chromosomes with two sister chromatids or two chromatids in each chromosome. In metaphase 2, the chromosomes are arranged at the equatorial plate, they are forming the metaphasic plate, but here there is slight difference. The metaphasic plate is single, it is not double. We have discussed that in meiosis 1 or the metaphase 1, the metaphasic plate was double because the chromosomes were homologous, they were paired and homologous chromosomes were present, so there were twos. Chromosomes were in twos. Here they are single chromosomes, and therefore they are forming single metaphasic plate where the chromosomes are arranged at the equatorial plate. These are the thickest chromosomes. The spindle formation has already completed. The spindles get attached to the kinetochore of the chromosome. Now we know each chromosome at the centromeric position have two kinetochores. They are shown here with the black color, if you can see, and these kinetochores get attached with the spindle formation, spindle fibers. Now coming to the anaphase 1, in both the cells we can say the anaphase is a stage in which the chromosomes split at the centromere. The two chromosomes, one chromosome leads into two daughter chromosomes or the chromatids. Now the chromatids are called as daughter chromosomes. So one chromosome is split into two chromatids or the daughter chromosomes, and each of them is being pulled to their respective poles. So out of these, here is a chromosome with two chromatids, one is pulled to this pole, another to this pole. Same is here. So the daughter chromosomes are being pulled to their respective poles in anaphase 2. It is anaphase 2 because here you can see two cells in the same phase. Now coming to the telophase 2, in the telophase 2 you can see the chromosomes reach to their poles, and after reaching the poles they start uncoiling. Chromosomes are uncoiled here. They start forming of the nuclear envelope. Nucleolus also starts appearing in the telophase 2. The telophase 2 ends in the cytokinesis. Cytokinesis in animal cells is by this concave formation, and here the two cells start separating. Now this was the beginning of meiosis 2, where one cell in meiosis 1 have given rise to two cells, and these two cells continue their meiosis 2, and at the end of meiosis 2 you can see here four cells are formed. Now the chromosome number, whatever was present here in prophase 2, it is same here, it is not reduced further, and that's why it is called as a equational divisions. Meiosis 2 is called as the equational division. The whole meiosis ends here, resulting in the 4 cells. We have seen that at the beginning of meiosis 1, a single cell with 2 sets of chromosomes, or that is diploid cell, enters into the meiosis 1, and at the end of meiosis 2, at the end of meiosis itself, 4 cells are present and they are haploid cells. So we could see here in short once again the overall meiosis. This is prophase 1, prophase 1, prophase 1, prophase 1, where leptotene, where thread-like chromosomes appear, then zygotene, where the pairing takes place, pachytene, where the crossing over takes place, then diplotin and dikinesis, where the synapses dissolves and the terminalization takes place. The chiasmatum moves towards the terminal positions. Then metaphase 1, where 2 chromosomes out of the homologous pair, each chromosome is pulled to the respective pole. Remember, whole chromosome, we are not calling it a daughter chromosome, it is a full chromosome with 2 chromatids. They are pulled to the respective poles. Then they go to the respective poles and they form their own nuclei. The telophase ends in the cytokinesis, forming 2 cells. Then prophase 1 begins, where again the nuclear envelope dissolves. Now this chromosome comes at the center position, equatorial plate, it forms the metaphasic plate here, and the metaphase 2 results into the anaphase. In anaphase, each chromosome is cut off at the centromere, and the chromatids, now called as daughter chromosomes, they are pulled to their respective poles. They go to their respective poles and they develop their own nuclei in telophase 2, and 4 haploid cells are formed in this way. So this single cell which was diploid in the beginning of the meiosis is now forming 4 haploid cells. This is diploid, means it has 2 sets of chromosome. This is haploid, means each cell has single set of chromosome. You can see here 2 chromosomes, one chromosome in each cell. So this is meiosis, overall meiosis. Now let's compare the mitosis and meiosis in cell cycle. Now at the beginning of the cell cycle, in the beginning of the interphase, the chromosome is single with single DNA in it. Then in the interphase, the chromosome undergoes duplication, DNA undergoes replication. There is synthetic phase where the genetic material is doubled, the DNA is doubled, and in this way 2 chromatids are formed at the end of synthetic phase, at the end of interphase. Now this chromosome with 2 chromatids enters into the division. It divides into 2 daughter chromosomes. It splits at this centromeric position, and 2 chromatids or daughter chromosomes, they go into their respective nuclei in the 2 different cells. So this is mitosis. What happens in meiosis? In meiosis starts in the diploid cell. So there are 2 homologous chromosomes. In the interphase, they double their material, homologous chromosomes. They undergo the synthetic phase, they undergo the replication of the DNA, and 1 chromosome forms 2 chromatids. So here the chromosome was with single chromatid. Here after synthetic phase, after interphase, they have 2 chromatids. Now these homologous chromosomes enter into the meiosis 1, they get separated in the meiosis 1, each chromosome goes to their respective poles and forms their nuclei. Now these nuclei are with a single set of chromosomes, haploid. So it is equational, it is reduction division, the chromosome number is reduced to half. Now again it undergoes further meiosis 2, second division, and this meiosis 2 is just like mitosis, where this chromosome undergoes splitting, and each chromatid of this chromosome becomes a daughter chromosome and it goes to new nuclei. It forms new nuclei. So this is 1, 2, 3 and 4 nuclei. So one cell gives rise to 4 cells in meiosis. The chromosome number was double in the beginning. It is haploid in the end. So these 4 nuclei which are formed at the end of meiosis, they are haploid. So this is compared to mitosis and meiosis. Same things are explained here. Suppose this is a cell, diploid cell, 2n is equal to 4, means chromosomes are 4, out of them 2 are homologous chromosomes. These 2 and these 2, they are homologous chromosomes. 2 pairs of homologous chromosomes are present in this cell. Now what happens in mitosis? These 4 chromosomes, they divide separately. At the metaphase they get arranged at the equatorial plate, they are forming a single metaphasic plate here, and then they divide. At the centromeric position they split and each chromatid goes into a new nucleus. So here the chromosomes which are 4, here there are 4 daughter chromosomes, number remains same, 2n is equal to 4. One difference is there, though they are daughter cells, the chromosome number at the beginning of mitosis is having 2 chromatids. Here the chromosome, each chromosome is having single chromatid. That is the only difference. But when we count the number of chromosomes, there are 4 here, there are 4 here also at the end of mitosis. Now same cell, 2n is equal to 4 with 2 pairs of homologous chromosome that enters in the meiosis. In the beginning, in the prophase 1, they undergo pairing and synapses formation and chiasmata formation, crossing over, exchange of genetic material, etc., etc. Then they enter into the metaphase 1. The chromosomes are separated and these chromosomes go to their respective poles. They form nuclei. These are reduced nuclei with haploid. Here you can see 4 chromosomes were present. Here only 2 chromosomes are present at the end of meiosis 1. Now in meiosis 2, they divide like the mitosis and each chromosome splits into 2 chromatids, forms 2 daughter chromosomes. They go to their respective poles and they form the nuclei, and 4 nuclei are formed at the end of meiosis 1. Meiosis only. Meiosis, full meiosis. So this is mitosis, this is meiosis. What happens with a single cell in mitosis? It forms 2 diploid cells. In meiosis, the same cell forms 4 haploid cells, and that's why it is meiosis is conducted at the time of gamete formation, because we need gametes with haploid sets of chromosome. Now coming to the significance of meiosis, by crossing over, genes are exchanged in meiosis and it brings the variation, and variation leads to evolution. Now here I would explain what is the exchange of genes. Now this is one chromosome, this is its homologous chromosome. So this is a pair of homologous chromosomes in the leptotin. In pachytene, crossing over takes place, we know, and when the crossing over takes place, chiasmata is formed. Now this is chiasmata formation, this is chiasmata formation. Now in diplotin and dikinesis, when the synapses is dissolved and the chromosome starts separating, they break their pairs. At that time, some of the genetic material from this chromosome goes with this chromosome. Genetic material is exchanged. Segments of the chromosome are exchanged with color variation. Here we can see, if this is the black chromosome, now some part of the red chromosome appears here, and if this is the red chromosome, some part of the black chromosome appears here. At the time of dikinesis in metaphase, they get separated. Now this is metaphase and then anaphase, where the chromosome, this chromosome is pulled to this pole, this to another pole. While they are pulled, you can see this black chromosome is carrying some red part with it. That is due to the chiasmata formation here, that is due to the crossing over here. When the chromosomes get crossover, non-sister chromatids of the chromosomes, they show crossing over. At that time, After crossing over, when they start separation, here they have started separation. At the time of separation, some part is exchanged in between these non-sister chromatids, and in this way this chromosome now goes with some new part, and this chromosome again carries some new part with it. So this is recombination, this is exchange of genetic material in the meiosis 1, and this is very important. The genes are exchanged. Meiosis ends in meiosis 1 ends with metaphase for two daughter chromosomes, two daughter nuclei, but at the same time with new combination of the genes. So this is important, and it brings variation in the species, it brings evolution in the species. Remember, if there would be no variation, there would be no evolution. We all have evolved because we show variation, and the variation is brought by the meiosis. So this is very important thing about the meiosis. Another thing is, meiosis maintains the definite and constant chromosome number in the organism. We can see with this figure now. This is an organism, adult human being with 46 chromosomes. Now at the time of gamete formation, meiosis takes place, and this meiosis results into 4 haploid cell. So these are organism, a human being with 46 chromosomes in each cell. After meiosis produces the sperms and eggs. If it is male, it produces sperms, it is female, it produces eggs with haploid chromosome number. So the chromosome number in the sperms would be 23, the chromosome number in the eggs would be 23. The man or woman is with 46 chromosomes, but due to meiosis only, it is possible to produce haploid gametes, gametes with 23 number of chromosomes. Now this sperm and the egg undergoes fertilization, they unite together, they form the zygote with n plus n 2n condition, means these 23 and these 23 come together and become 46 again, and diploid zygote is formed. That diploid zygote undergoes many mitotic divisions and it forms the new human being or baby young one, whatever next generation is. So in this way, meiosis is responsible to maintain the chromosome number. So meiosis maintains the definite and constant chromosome number in the organisms, and that is most important thing. Both the meiosis is not having 10 or 20 significant points, but the 2 points which are related, which are up to meiosis, they are bringing variation in meiosis 1 and maintaining the chromosome number. Both the points are very significant point, and that shows the significance of the meiosis. So in this way, I think we should stop today. Thank you very much.